We'll start. Okay. Biju only has to join. Welcome. So shall we start? Okay. Over to you.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, English and Dayas, and friends from media and public business. Good afternoon to all of you. It's a wonderful moment today. You have seen a wonderful launch of PSLV-C55. So on this occasion, not to lose time, I request Chairman to address our media officer.
So thank you. Thanks all of you for watching this launch of PSLV-C55. As you already know, this is the 57th launch of PSLV. And this is the 5th launch of NSIL, I think, commercial dedicated. Full vehicle is given for commercial purpose. So that way, congratulations to NSIL for bringing more launches. Possibly you know that we have launched more than 400 small satellites in PSLV as piggyback launches while we were taking other missions. So this time it is both the satellites are from Singapore. And most importantly, we have already announced that the customer also allowed us to have the experimental module upward on the PSLV 4 stage. So after the primary mission, we are going to have the POEM, which is a PSLV experimental orbital module, where we have 7 experiments, 3 from Indian Institute of Space Science and Technology, 2 from Dhruva, 1 from Bellatrix Aerospace, and 1 from Indian Institute of Astrophysics. So all of this will have doing different objectives, but it will be done in a progressive manner. When the stage goes around Earth, we will be generating power from solar panel, which will be deployed like a satellite. There is another computer who will do all the functions. We will be commanding from our ground stations to do each of the payload, test, experiment, etc. And we will get the data on the ground station. So that is another set of work. But the most important is the primary satellite. It is very precise injection. This is a core-alone configuration of PSLV. We don't have the strap-on motors in this mission. And we did some re-engineering of the PSLV this time to remove some unwanted elements from this, which reduces our cost and time also. So overall, this campaign was very smooth, building the rocket and making the launch. We are getting ready for further launches also, which we will tell you in due course in questions. So let me introduce all the people here. Radhakrishnan, the CMD of NSIL, the Director of URO Satellite Center, Mr. Shankaran, Director of the our Satish Dhawan Space Center, Sri Rajarajan, Director of Vikram Sarabhai Space Center, Dr. Unikrishnan Nair, and Director of the Liquid Propulsion Systems Center, Dr. Narayanan, and finally the Mission Director, Sri Biju, you would have seen him many times doing PSLV. So now we'll go to some questions and discussions. Okay, thank you.
One by one.
Otherwise, we can ask each one of us to speak. Huh? If question is not there, okay, why don't you, Radhakrishnan, tell something about business opportunities in space?
In between, you can ask.
Oh, we will go to that a little later. The most important thing I would like to send the message is that NSIL is now becoming the primary, the operator of the launch vehicle. Possibly you would have read the space policy now. NSIL is getting much more important role, and they are going to bring more and more satellites, and they are going to sometimes build and launch satellites on their own, and they are going to take over the PSLV production and launching through industry. So these are very important things. And NSIL is now given 10 operational satellites from Isro, so they are the owner of 10 satellites now. It is not the old NSIL now we are talking about, it is a new NSIL. So the Radhakrishnan is the same Radhakrishnan, but NSIL is new. Okay, so that is a very important change that has happened. And we are slowly moving PSLV into industry operations. So this is another important thing. So we will see new set of people sitting here and addressing you when that happens. So that is another change. Okay, Radhakrishnan.
Yeah.
So thank you very much. As Chairman Isro has mentioned, inside we have a much bigger mandate of not only providing and launching and launch services and also satellite services. We have a very important task of seeing that the operational vehicles of Isro, namely the PSLV and now the future SSLV and PSLV Mark III, all will be produced to the industry and marketed commercially. As you have seen, I think we had several launches of customer satellites on PSLV. And there is a lot of emerging demand for launching of the satellites into SSLV also because there is the launch on demand cost-effective launch. But what is very interesting now from the commercial perspective is after we launched this two mission PSLV Mark III or MDM3 for hardware, there is tremendous potential for this vehicle to cater to the commercial market. And we are looking at something like 5 to 6 or 4 to 5 launches every year from the next 2 years time frame. So we are putting all our effort to see that how the industries are gearing up to manufacture these rockets in a much commercial sense. So we see a very big future. And in terms of the satellites, we have today 11 communication satellites in orbit. And we have plans of building and launching communication satellites for ourselves, almost one per year. So I think we are growing commercially quite well. In fact, if you look at the revenue that we have done the last year, almost starting from 300 crores in the first year, 2019, we are 14,000 crores coming. So almost 10 times we have grown in the last 3 years. So we have a lot of commercial opportunities. Like Chairman mentioned, we are growing quite big in terms of being a service provider to now owning the assets and doing a lot of industrial activities.
So what about
we will just take few more minutes to speak about POEM because questions will come before that. POEM is a PSLV upper stage experimental module. There is a committee which is chaired by Director of Satellite Center Sri Shankaran, built by both VSSC and LPSC. So I will first request Shankaran to say a few words about the development of POEM and how that missions are designed, done, etc.
Thank you. POEM is the operational mission of the upper stage of the PSLV. As you know that like the satellite once it is put in orbit, it remains there for a very long time. This upper stage also is going to remain for a very long time in orbit. So the idea was, whenever you have a big structure in orbit, why not use it for doing some experiments? So this process was started about 4 years ago, and we have tried to identify which part of the launch vehicle's upper stage itself can be reused, what additional items we will put to make it live in that orbit for a significant amount of time, at least few months. So new things were developed, including telemetry system, telecom system, onboard computer, power generation purpose, solar panels and batteries. All these are being now included like they are in a satellite. With this, what it is going to allow us is to do short-term experiments. Somebody who has a good idea, want to try out something for a short period to check whether it will work. You don't need to go for satellite to be realized. You can make some small experimental payload made, maybe 2 to 5 kgs, which can be put as part of this platform, and you can get valuable information about how this is designed and whether it works in orbit and whether it can survive the environment. This kind of information is going to come. So we have been doing this not incrementally. First time we did not try to control the state. The state was allowed to double, and with the power generation we kept it maybe almost 1 year it was alive, and the payload was sitting there, which was repeated payload, worked for more than a year. Last year we had a second level where we tried to stabilize the platform, and it was stabilized for few orbits, and the concept of how to stabilize such a massive structure in orbit using the thrusters and the sensors, all these were verified last time. This time it is going to be even better. It is not only going to be stabilized, but also it is going to generate a lot of power, which we are able to last time we had about 150 watts of power generation. This time it is going to be about 500 watts of power generation. So this will allow us next time onwards to put more and more experiments which will utilize this platform for students or startups to try out their things. That is what we are going to do with this.
Okay, the poem stage was engineered, especially the electronics, the control, computer, everything by Vikram Sarabhai Space Center. So I will just ask director of the Vikram Sarabhai Space Center to say about that. And LPSC did a very beautiful thing. They developed a new control system, thruster based, using cold gas available on the left out gas in the stage. So very cost effective way they have done. So these are two very innovative work. So over to you, just to speak about few words about it.
Thank you. Thank you. This poem, we know that what's the final stage usually becomes a debris, and we know that the orbits are all cluttered with the debris. So it was a novel idea how the debris can be made use of as a orbiting platform where we can do many experiments. So that is how we added new features like deployable solar panels. Usually solar panels are rigid panels to deploy in sort of like panels. But here it is a flexible solar panel which is wrapped around the PS4 tag, so that during the ascent phase you have space, you save the space, and once the parallel pairing is separated and you reach in orbit, you deploy it, so you get more area, thereby you can make 3 to 4 times more power than a wrapped around the solar panel. So this is a new technology which we are experimenting. Apart from that, there are fellows, and from I as the director of Indian Institute of Space Science and Technology. From there, we have 2 fellows. One is called Aries, where the institute has made an instrument for measuring the atmospheric studies, and that is going to fly. It is only flown, and they will get getting data. Second is how to make use of 3D printing to make small satellites. That is the experimental pilot, where there is an onboard computer which the institute has made with the students. So apart from the instead of the rote learning, the students are participating in construction or making satellites and other systems, so they get initiated with the practical engineering right from their early studentship. So that is about poem. And then another feature which we have discussed is how to reduce the force. So one aerodynamic stabilizes surface of the that is removed after studies and other things, thereby cost as well as schedule. So it's a continuous evolution, and many more such features will be added in the future. Thank you.
All right.
Good evening, all of you. As you know, the PSLV, the fourth stage, and the stage has given around 77,000 kilometers per hour, and the satellite is stated. After that, as Chairman told, the PSLV stage is such an experimental platform. Now, to make it as an experimental platform, what is essentially required, the stage has to be totally stabilized. Then only you can have meaningful activity. To stabilize without any disturbance, we have conceived a propulsion system with 8 thrusters. Each generates 1.2 Newton type of thrust it generates, drawing the left-out gases inside the fourth stage of PSLV. So this is a unique idea what was used for conceiving the propulsion model, and we are quite confident it will work perfectly because it is put through all the experiments and all the tests were carried out, and with that we are confident that the stage will be totally stabilized to carry out meaningful experiments. Thank you.
Okay, we'll go to some questions. Huh? Poem I already announced that it is designed for very short time, because depending upon the left out gas only it can work, and there are various other conditions that will decide its life. So even it works for 1 day, good enough for us. If it works for 1 month, we are very happy. If it works for 6 months, extremely happy. But what we are saying is we have designed poem earlier for 1 month, it worked for 2 years. There are various reasons for it, because we are using electronics which are commercial electronics. So there are not a space grade electronics, so they could get damaged in the space due to various radiation and things like that. So and there is no large redundancy in the system. So all this put together, we are expecting only very short time. In that short time, whatever is required will be done. So more time is there, more data will come. That's all.
Sir, tell me about the private rocket launches. When will you start that project? Because already we are Vikram testing already.
See, the Vikram test was only the beginning. They are getting ready for the next launch. That's what I understand. And meantime, another company is also getting ready for the sounding rocket launch in a liquid engine. What we did was a solid rocket. And they are announcing that before December this year, they will be coming for launch. This is my understanding after discussion with those companies. Of course, see, the struggle is a long struggle. You know, when Isro started, 1960s to now, it is a 60 years of struggle. Now, that is not required for anybody coming in, but they have to struggle. So, we are here to help. Okay, so that help is always there. Recently, we are in discussion, we are in dialogue to understand their difficulties. Whatever support we are able to do, we are able to. But it is not copying what Isro knows there. No, they are developing new systems. So, anything new has its own qualification, new materials, new processes, testing. Then only it can reach launching. So, otherwise we had reproduce PSLV and launch. No? That is not what is intended. So, it will take time. So, we understand that.
3 months we have very big plans for.
Not only for 3 months, sir. More time. Okay, next 3 months I mentioned only because if I start talking, you will all get bored. You know? So, I thought I will tell only a few things. One is 3 months we have to launch Aditya L1 in PSLV. We want to launch GSLV Navik, which is yet to be processed, but we are trying to launch it. Then we have a GSLV Mark III with Chandrayaan 3 to be launched. This all will happen before June-July time frame. Then afterwards, there we have next set of PSLV coming in. One is again a commercial launch for NSIL. Then PSLV is again for Aditya L1 I mentioned. Then test vehicle for Gaganyaan, that is abort mission demonstration test. We have to have an SSLV launch. We have to have a repeat launch of GSLV for our climate satellite called INSAT 3DS. Then there is a launch of XPOSat, X-ray polarimeter satellite, which is again a scientific satellite using PSLV. Then we have the launch of Anvesha. There is a user-driven commercial satellite again. Like that. Okay. If I go speaking, you would have forgotten by now. See, space policy is a policy. Now, what you have to make is implementation plan of the policy, correct? So, the policy is to be implemented by Department of Space, and I am the Secretary of the Department. So, we are making plans to implement it. Even before the policy was announced, we were already implementing because Cabinet decided it, how to implement this space policy. Based on that, one, I will tell you quickly, NSIL is now made into an agency which is now they can own and operate on their system. So, we transferred 10 satellites right away to them. Then we transferred the PSLV to them to industrialize, that they have already started. Then they are building satellites on their own. First satellite of that was already built and launched, second they are going to do. And they are now trying to find out money by which they can fund building new satellites and new rockets in Isro. This is a big change. So, let me finish this question. There is another agency called InSpace, which is the Indian National Space Agency for Authorization and Promotion. That was, even before itself, it was created and we made it fully operational. And through InSpace only now a lot of authorizations and satellite launches and whatever in today's POEM payloads are all coming. Then we are talking about startups mentoring. So, the startups which was only 50 before the space policy, today there are 200 plus startups. So, we are creating ecosystem by which they can come in, talk to Isro and conduct missions in Isro. The first ever private launches rocket happened after the space sector reforms, and engine testings, various other system developments are happening all across. Even the launch which happened recently, the Bellatrix, they have a electric propulsion thruster. It also got tested in our facilities before they put it all there. So, Isro is now working with the non-governmental entities to help them to develop the capabilities. It's already there. See, revenue, there are two types of things. Revenue is the job of business, right? Government is not in business. So wherever there is a business and revenue, that the last person is the responsible. Okay. So wherever there is research and development is involved, all centers are responsible. When there is private people are involved, InSpace is responsible. So you understood so we have created a bifurcation of responsibility. One at a time. Can we do one thing? We'll ask her from.
Commercial satellite launches are emerging as a new business frontier. So a month ago, we successfully completed one of commercial satellite launches in which it carried 72 satellites and 2 missions and 36 satellites. So having said that, can you talk about India and Isro's commercialization in space?
See, last 60 years, our job was to develop capability. Okay. Meantime, we were also offering commercial services as whatever is possible we were offering as commercial. That means all PSLVs were not commercial. We launched still 400 small satellites, highest ever launched by any national space agency of any world. We launched. And we have been giving a lot of commercial service. The 5th commercial service of the PSLV has happened. So commercial services was always there. But commercial service as a business service, we have never looked at it. How to build rocket for doing revenue. We never looked at it. We are building it for the nation. Now there is a change happening. The change is that we are going to do certain things for business purpose. How industries, startups, how they can work on it and create revenue. Revenue is not in launching alone. Revenue is in applications. You know, NAVIC applications, imaging applications, communication applications, strategic applications. There is a lot of money. So we are allowing industries to use the satellite data and generate some applications and create revenue. Once there is a satellite data demand increases, people will start building satellites. Are you aware that there are at least 5 satellite building companies in India? You are aware? Other than Isro today, already 5 industries have started building satellites in India, and their satellites will start launching from this year and onwards. And they are going to build satellites in not 1 or 2, they are going to build in hundreds and 50s and hundreds. And they are planning to export satellite built in India outside. So this is another commercial activity. So we are looking at application side, we are building in satellite side, we are also building PSLV 100% commercially. That means whoever is building PSLV has to invest, build, launch and make profit. So this is a model coming up. Okay.
That kind of reusable rocket project has been successful. What will be the next step to reusable rocket?
Reuse it. Say a reusable rocket is meant for reuse. Whatever we did, we will once again do. We will do again. So it takes some steps to perfect it. So this was only one launch of the test vehicle called the RLV-TD Lex mission. The reusable launch vehicle experimental part, which is a technology demonstration landing experiment. It is second of the series of tests which we did. Long back we did a rocket-based test. We went up to 16 kilometers, came back and landed in sea. We couldn't retrieve. Now in this launch it is in the landing strip, so we could retrieve. So we are planning once again do the drop at extreme conditions to prove that this will still land when there is difficulty. So 2-3 times when we do, we will fully understand the technology and master it. After that, we are making a bigger one. The bigger one is going to be called ORV, Orbital Recovery Vehicle. And that design and work is going on in Vikrant Sarabhi Space Center. This will be launched to orbit. It will go to orbit, something like 400 kilometers. It will stay there for weeks or months or years together, do some work and come back and land. All unmanned. Either rocket. So you want it to be NSIL? Tomorrow I will transfer. See, only thing is NSIL should give me money. See, we need to deal with him in business like environment. If you give me money, I will give RLV. Are you ready? So it is simple like this. ISRO's job is to develop technology, and we are offering it for commercial use. If a private company in India comes and asks us, I am ready to build the RLV and operate on a commercial basis, ISRO is willing to hand it over to them. So NSIL or private companies, whoever is doing, we are all government funded organizations. Your money only we use to develop it. So it is a public good item. An Indian company willing to develop it, use it commercially, we are ready to hand over all that we know. It is already there. Cell phone is, You are not buying the cell phone which has a Navic. That's why it is not getting. So 30 different models of cell phones are already having Navic. I'll give the model numbers. So buy it, you will get it. So, but there is a difficulty. I was only joking to say, but more common mobiles are not having it. There is an issue that is with the certain chipsets. So what we are trying to do is we are going to launch, we have already launched one satellite, we are launch another 5 more, in which there is a frequency called L1 band. That L1 band, all your mobiles will become Navi compatible. That takes some more years, 1.5 years we are targeting to complete that. After that it will be, every mobile phone will have Navic enabled services. Okay.
You said there are many more projects coming on, you don't want to talk about it.
No. I said so many launches, it was too much.
In coming 3-4 months, what is there? I was just keen to know about the Gaganyaan project.
Okay. So I already told in between, you didn't get it. There is a Gaganyaan project mission called the test vehicle mission. This is precisely for launching the Gaganyaan crew module to an altitude of around 12 to 14 kilometers. Then say the mission is failing and rescue the crew. So for that we have developed a new rocket which is already there in this Sriharikota now. So we are tentatively scheduling the launch to happen in June. So let us hope so. In between we are doing helicopter based drop test, that is called the integrated air rope thrust. That also will happen in Sharp, 2-3 numbers of them. After that, this year end, we are targeting the unmanned orbital, not this year end, beginning of next year, that is February is our target of 2024. We will be launching the GSLV Mark III human rated with the crew module unmanned. It will go to orbit. After that, it will come back and land in the sea. So this is the 1-year program for Gaganyaan.
Thank you very much, sir. With this, we will conclude this video.
Any other questions to anybody else? Already there. You want it? I will send it to you by WhatsApp. Yeah. I didn't get it. This year, if you want, then I have to do something special. Say, launchpad building is not simply one making a concrete pedestal. We need a lot of infrastructure. Buildings are to be built. Propellant service facilities are required. Radars are to be built. Computer network has to be created. We have to link that place to Sriharikota. Then we have to take the accommodation, housing, people stay. No, there is a huge infrastructure building is to happen. So land acquisition is still not completed. Okay, so we are yet to get some 50 odd acres from Tamil Nadu, which is in process. But we have already started the boundary wall construction. Entire design of the facilities are completed. I am telling Director of Satish Dhawan Space Center is taking the action to build it. So he is going to tender it out and trying to complete the whole facility in 2 years of time. But meantime, we will do something to have a launch even before that, which will be announced due course.
Thank you, sir.
Huh? Radhakrishnan, who is your competitor?
Look at the commercial operators of the operators. Again, it depends on the type of options. We are looking at PSLV, for example, which is having 1.5 kilograms of operators. Some of the commercially operated vehicles are the European ones, which is like Vega. Then when you look at PSLV, marketing 4.5 tons of the demonstration purpose. We have PSX, alliances, some of them is looking from the European and the US side. And in terms of the small satellite launch, there is one or two launches like Electron or the ones in one from US side. Otherwise, as far as you look at the reliability and the commercial operators, we are operators. The one is inspired from the use of
with the AST room. Thank you. So we'll have some photos.
Hold it up. Vijay sir.
Okay. NSL CMD comes this way. Nammalella backward. Okay. So we'll all hold the support. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
initially you were mentioning about the usage of poem. How significant it is to be
See, poem is important for those people who have done the payload in this. You don't have to build a satellite to do an experiment. You only make the experimental part, and we will give you power, we will give you telemetry, we will give you commanding, we will give you all payload platform. So it's such a low-cost experiment for any startups. So we want institutions, scientific bodies, startups to come and make use of it. Such a low-cost thing, enable them in space, and all are welcome to make it. That's it.
You were telling about the new stack navigation.
New generation navigation, there are a lot of things. One is it will have a new frequency called L1 band. Till now we had no bands for L5 and S band, so it will have L1 band on the GPS band. Then it will have secured signals which will make the strategic user to go to this code. So, and again, we are using our Indian academic everything we are very this year, a lot of us are planning. So, one of the final customers here is from the beginning of next year is the unplanned mission to the space coming back. But even to reach that, we have under 5 tests will happen this year. So, every last month you would have heard that we are announcing a lot of engineers while we get to test our rocket is now almost completed. But we have to now test the crew module, service module, our system, the electronic system, so 2 various sets of tests. So that is scheduled, and we will be putting their programs on our website. Thank you.
அவட்ட மட்டும் நீ வந்து சோம்நாத் ஏறிட்டாருன்னு ரெடியாரு ஒரே ஒரு பைக் போடுறோம் விடவே கூடாது எனக்கு ஞாபகம் வச்சுக்கோ ஸோ ப்ளூ small bite from chairman if you know please stop. గ్రేడ్ చేస్తారు ఇలా అడుగుతారు ఎప్పుడు చెప్పడం
It's taking now? Yes, sir. You just ask some question, it will be easier for me to answer like that. Like for example, you want to ask it.
She wants to have come.
थोड़ा रॉकेट शॉकेट दिखना है पीछे है या
ओके என்னாச்சுங்க? இவர்
டிக்கெட் போடுறா
ராக்கெட் லான்ச் பண்ண போகிறாங்க. இதெல்லாம் முடிஞ்சு எல்லாமே வாய் வந்து போவோம் வலி வாயில் மட்டமாக வலிச்சு வலி போனது